Okay, good morning. We ready? All right. I think we are. Good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader and one of the coaches now as our viewing grows at TradeGATEHub. So let's sign in. Listen, Monday morning. I'm focusing now. For those that I had a question this morning about the Nasdaq in general, and here we are at TradeView Market site. Let's sign into TradeGATEHub. As I say to everybody, it's the same way I sign in, the same way you guys sign. It's that easy. Okay. Okay. Listen, as we get more and more viewers, I don't want to waste anybody's time being redundant or repeating things. Okay. We have a TradeGATEHub YouTube channel for a reason, and it's go to, maybe even vet the coach and I or the room's process on what we do. Certainly I would encourage it. We're very proud of the work we do. We've been doing it for a long time collectively. And certainly just go back and any general question, for example, and it's a good question. I'm going to answer it anyway. Don't get me wrong. But as I signed off on Friday, I saw this question, if you will, and it said, where are we? Right here. Why is the NASDAQ in a bearish move? Okay, I mean, that's a general question. And if you're here to learn on a greater scale, that's wonderful. And just getting back to my original point, that's why we have the TradeGATEHub channel and all the videos that I do. It's a process. And as I said before, I don't want anybody to really get deterred because just like this profession, anything else that you get to be good at a high level, it takes time. So the reason being is I don't like to leave any question unanswered because that's how you really learn. I had a cliche growing up. I never really learned much with my mouth open. Good to you, coach. So that's how you learn, is by asking the questions. Look at this. They're taking a moment more. Let me do something. Order filled. Hold on. Live trading at TGH. Okay. So with that being said, is go back to the TradeGATEHub channel. And, the NASDAQ question, it could be answered in a variety of ways. And it's a general question. And as general as they are, I think people deserve more attention because the more general questions usually are the less experienced. No disrespect, it is what it is. I asked the same question one day too. All right, so go back. And I said also tune in to 11 Eastern. Okay, so let's get to the process. Good AM, a lot of videos that I posted, short ones. It's not going to suffocate you. For example, this one right here. All right, Jim Cramer's plan ahead. He has a plan on. Listen, Jim Cramer's a macro guy. Okay, you want to learn how to trade or take money out of the market. That's what we're here for to do on an everyday basis. I formulate my plan predicated upon the pros, myself, the coach, anybody else it might be, Meg Santoli I use, or my Twitter followers, if you will. Follow them. It's a small but concise, and like I say all the time, it's about quality and not quantity. Okay, so there's Kramer's plan right here. Go over it. It takes how long did he talk for? I'm sure there's a commercial. He talked for 3 minutes. All right, so that's part of the plan. Also, what Michael Santoli has to say has a lot to do with things. Stocks near session highs and into the final minutes of trade. That's my recap on Friday. Obviously, I know what happens on Friday. I was here all day, and it's just a little trigger back to get me, a little jolt. It's like one of those 5-hour energies. Believe me, I don't need one of those. But the recap is to refresh you what went on. Also, I post, besides going, let me jump ahead. Another video that was posted, pardon me, this morning was this. Noted. That was Wild Pete. We got somebody named Wild Pete in the room, so I got to be on my extreme best behavior. Also, a lot of these have to do with coins. So this is what Jim Cramer says in the morning. That was his little plan about Jay Powell. By the way, I'm not here to pat Jim on the back. It actually came to fruition, but it's a high level opinion, and it's a frame of reference. You're not going out, to no disrespect any of the young investors, to a high school and asking everybody what they might like in their long-term portfolio. Although lately that might have been a decent investing method, but I digress again. Okay, so we're getting back into the Monday morning data, and it's the most important again. Okay, so watch the videos. It's important. It's not here to say, Mike V, you're great, I told you so. It's what we have to do. Pardon. All right. So Helene, I always part. We were lucky enough to have Helene on here. Look at this S plug. I didn't think it'd be up 12%. Look at plug overstock. Our Nutella was up $8 at one point, but I'm looking at the screen. Okay, this is the SOX index, and you know what? Like I said, we were lucky enough to have lean on, and by judging by the thickness of the pencil, it's up to you. And by the way, I say the judges on the thickness of the pencil. It's just another way of me putting when things are doing like this, you're not going to catch the bottom or conversely the top. It's going to take time. No, certainly nobody here is going to say, okay, let me buy the SOX here is obviously the semis. Let me buy 10,000 Micron, ON, Marvell, and AMAT, and let me walk away and buy everything at once, because that's not how you do it prudently. As a matter of fact, it was a little bit of a lesson learned here in TradeView, how we're building in some of the long-term positions. Look at path now, my lord. S up 10%, Delta. I'll have to cover that in a second. All right. Okay. SOX. So there's the picture on that. XME, coach probably gave a better dissertation at 9:30 than I did. I'm a chartist, although we have coach on bail because he puts in a qualitative, more reasoning, if you will, as well as charts. And I'm probably going to go over the 9:30 video at lunchtime. I didn't have a chance. As Helene says, the homies. She calls them the homies. That's as much as a macro view of the market as you can get, in my opinion. Obviously, maybe the banks, and I'm saying it for an exaggeration factor, but the home builders tie directly into rates and consumer spending, in my opinion. So I'm not apologizing for that analogy. Certainly, some may consider the banks of the oils, or even gold for that matter, but we're in the same church. Not the same church, maybe a different pew. Bearish. This is Helene. Current market exposure. No one's in stocks. 100% in cash. 3 weeks ago, everybody was all in the pool. And by the way, this is a Delta market sentiment indicator, a credible indicator on its own. So Helene Meisler, that also tweets it. Those are two credible indicators. Now I go back to here. Zero hedge maybe arguably is a credible indicator, but the guy knows what he's talking about. And he said the same one. Everyone is hedged for a crash. No one's in cash. People are buying 1 trillion puts per day. Now, by the way, if you were a believer, let me go to my screen here, and took upon the Friday move, to no surprise, everything is green off the board. It's felt like we were the only one in the country buying you. I did the view, by the way, go back to the video for the newbies. You, what I buy this thing? Coach, whoa, like the double bottom, 81.91. The spread, listen, hold on a second. I have to, let me, hold on. Lewis said something. The spread between pure value and pure growth noted. That's correct, Lewis. Getting sharper every day. I'm proud of you. Not to exaggerate, but you have turned the corner, at least on a macro level. And I see your clients have been doing better too. I digress. Okay, so it's up $7 today. All right, big deal. All right, Path, our favorite stock, which I had to sell, my number one pick, which I had to sell, what was on Thursday? So you know what? Like I said, I have to go back to this because this is the most important lesson learned, regardless of the stock, regardless of what they do. So please, here it is. Where was it that I posted late on Friday? And this comes from an extreme contra trader, if you will, not a holder, a trader. I got to do it. I don't care how much time it takes me, everybody, but trust me, because I've been repeating it 3 or 4 times. And if you didn't get it now, MTTR was the only one in the country buying it. Hood, that followed through. Everybody that was buried in that, I'm glad it was up $1 for you at one point today. I'm glad you got out of it. It wasn't for me. I'd still be up. I mean, from where we took a position on it, we'd still be down on it. Intel. Hold on a second. Good question on Robinhood. I hope you traded that well. Hold on a second. I'll give you the quote, and it's one of the things that the credence that I live in. So bear with me. And by the way, me going through this past data is not going to hurt anybody either. So I want to see where UNG is, because that probably was a short, because I said that's been acting bullish as the market. Thanks, JK. Come on, yeah. It has to do with, bottom line is, the first day down is not the first move down, or the capitulation first move up I still have a pole position in label from 1540. Where's label now? As you see that there. 1540, we're the only ones buying label. Where is it on the chart? It's 18. It's all right. What are you going to do? Trade it. Bear with me, guys, because I got to find it, or else then I'm not doing my job correctly. It's that the first move down is not always the last move down, and that's the most important thing to remember. Maybe somebody did. Maybe Lewis deleted it. He got frustrated. But we'll go back to the data. Okay, we have to move on. All right. So help us in formulating a plan this morning. Okay. This is the macro view. Okay, everyone's in cash. Keep that in mind. This is the macro view. By the way, as I said before, now we're above the 200-day, which hi Mike V. Hey Tim, thanks for joining us. I'm glad to hear from you. And I'm saying that all in a macro view as well. We'll talk afterwards, but thanks for the support. I'm serious. Okay, this is the macro view. Now this is the earnings for the week. Now you have a growth bounce with AMD, Amazon bounce, Facebook bounced. We didn't call it a bottom yet, but this is the earnings week. Okay, AMD is going to dictate how it's going to do going forward. As a matter of fact, all the interest rate sensitive, but Goldman has 5 rate hikes, Powell 3. It's already baked in. Okay, it might hurt a little the cycle going forward, but when AMD reports and Amazon reports and Ford reports and GM reports, how those stocks act, especially how they formulate a base, will predicate the near-term future. I'm not going to say going 6 to 8 to 10 months out, but anyway, have a plan. And you know what? I have a plan. Do you? It doesn't mean my plan's right, but when it comes time to game time, I'm staring at the screen going, wow, GM opened up $3 on earnings. What do I do now? I'll have my levels. I'll know the Ford goes with it. Maybe the Tesla, who's been acting very well, by the way, will go up, or NIO has been acting well. All right, upgrades and downgrades. To no surprise, I post them. ARK Invest, they bought some hood, and you know what? They're in on Nutella. And I don't know if I was cringing for the past month about her buying Nutella because it's one of my favorite positions going forward. But now I'm happy because as we go to the chart, Lewis, you'll notice even more, they're bouncing. And you know what? Nutella's not bouncing. Nutella made a move from 80 to 90. That's a $20 move. And Nutella, by the way, is best of breed. If you want to look at the XBI, that's the biotech index. Okay, so you want to talk about Tim's on here. You want to talk about relative strength. Nutella's a biotech, and to no surprise, a behemoth. So when you have the biotech index breaking to multi-year lows, and this one's not even close to a low, that's a good sign for me. How's the hood holding up? Hood's up $1.20 now. I wouldn't have touched it at 9. Now it's 13. Good for everybody. It's coming into major resistance. But that doesn't show me that the hood's on sale. It shows me that this is going on. They're believing in Kathy now. Look at ARK. Lewis. ARK made a move from 75. And you know what? That's helping our other core positions. There's our SDDGR. Look at BLI, my long-term stock. That's going to go over 10, but BLI, it doesn't look like much, but from 8 to 940 looks like a watch. And Path, my number one tech stock pick of the year. All of a sudden, you turn around, it goes from 30 to 31. That's a 10% move. But you know what? I need confirmation. I need this. You know what? I took some off today. I'm not going to lie. I need confirmation. Yes, I like the fact that it did this. And yes, the fact that, I'm selling some. Anybody that has a stock that went from 31 to 36 and then it's buying this in this little range here, it's going to take a 10% move up. Some gasoline dark. It is, Lewis. But you know what? We're going to have to see it because I don't know. It needs to stabilize. This is haven't we been saying all week, and the coach will be the first one to tell me that the biggest moves are bear market rallies. These are bear market. Like I told you, let's go to Hood 2 days ago. Remember when I told you this move right here from 1050 to 1150? That's bear market covering. That's not just somebody saying, okay, I've been watching Hood since 70. It's time for me to get all in. That volume was capitulation, and it's up to us to see what it does. Now let me go to ES. Now we're in this box, if you will, right, Coach? Now we're forming some sort of triangle. I cannot listen. The most positive thing that came out of anything that I can look at today so far going forward is the S&P held the 200 day. This very easily could have went the other way. Now we need confirmation. Now we need earnings to come out, and now we need confirmation. I was talking with Mike Lombardo for a while. I bounced ideas off him. The guy's as sharp as he comes. And also, he handles our book of retail clients, and he lets us know what we're doing. Thank you, Coach. I saw you. So you know what? I want to know what the retail person is doing. And neither of us thought it was a V-shaped move back, but it's still not a V-shaped move back. You know, people buried underwater. I mean, look at you. Yes, it did make a nice move, but you know what? It's got to do this for anybody to really jump in. You know, for a stock like you, which is a best of breed software, it's arguable. Go from 102, go from 90 to 102. It's a $12 move. Am I selling it when I'm formulating a plan, a little bit early? Yes, I am. Listen, let me tell you a couple of things here about what happened. See this U right here with the volume? That could have very easily, this green bar, that could have very easily been today. But that day it turned around and you were down on it. So this bar where I thought, on Friday, where we thought that was the bottom, although there were high levels of cash, I get it. And it was a precipitous move into Ukraine. That's why they moved up. It's not because it's a relief. It's not a value play. It's more of relief. So, short squeezes and stocks are very oversold. Yes, active trading, it's beautiful. But as I said before, to build some long-term position. Yeah, I believe Overstock goes higher. But you know what? This could have been the day that I thought it could have bottomed on this green bar with huge volume. It closed at 43. It went back to 39. That's $4 moves on a, that's move. We're good on it now. It went from 38 to 40. $10 move for us is nice. And I like the fact it's holding the 200-day. I'm going to look at this now. Now I'm out of it. Now it looks to me like Overstock on a weekly holding a 200-day and having a nice move, a 2-day nice move with volume. To me, yeah, it's probably going to pull back a little. I think I'm out of the deep waters, if you will, on that one. So maybe I'm jumping around on tangents, but you know what? This is a market where you're short term, which is why I provide this, by the way, right here, our sentiment. This is short term. This doesn't say right here, when 9 out of 10 days in the green, everybody go in and start building a long-term position. This is tactical. Now we're probably up here. This is a room where I'm an active trader, and that's my greatest acumen. I'm not going to lie, but doing this for 26 plus years, I turned from a day trader to a swing trader. Now I can consider myself an investor. That's what gamblers do. Don't they start as gamblers, then they turn into spectators, and then they become professionals? I think that's the curve. You got to do it over time and have numbers. But let me go back into the plan for the rest of the day so I can finish our routine. Okay. This was the NASDAQ future sentiment. All right. So just like this move deep in the green, we did the same thing. Maybe now we're having a nice day. Maybe we stall right up here and do the pullback and have confirmation. I'm certainly not tactically. This is beautiful. I want things to be like this, but long term, it's yet to be determined. That was the S&P. I'm sorry. This is the NASDAQ. Basically the same thing. Fear and greed. That's on our side. My view and levels today. I got back to you, Lewis. This is the world sentiment. You know what? World sentiment, depending on what on you are, it could be on our side. It's good that France is down here. Brazil could call on EWZ, Davi. I'll give you credit. Canada could care less. No offense, Myron. So Germany, which I care about, is oversold still. Bravo. Russia. No, okay, that's a cocktail napkin situation. But I'm interested in the emerging markets. I'm interested in France, Japan, and obviously in China. China's has a nice move. And you know what? That's where you want China to be. You don't want China to be oversold. China showed strength before this bounce, which was a good sign. Sector sentiment. Listen, we're still buried. Housing. REITs, no interest. Retail, to no surprises, up today. Tech still. So you know what? It's more of an active trading environment. It wasn't a stick your, an all-in situation. It helped, like I say today, that the NASDAQ is gaining SPY gamma composure. Do the chart. Friday was the gamma squeeze, so there was still little juice left in the punch bowl. A lot of option guys this move, hold on a second. The chart is very relevant. One again, I'll talk to Mike L about this. This was the futures. This was ES, the minis on Friday, late Friday. Late Friday, by the way, this was 4:30. At 2:30, this is 2:30 on Friday. We're going to break low. Only in the last hour did they rip. So option traders, and why I told you the gamma squeeze, they were stuck within the, would you pay? Would you try again, Penn? Yes, I will. Hold on, Lewis. Yes, I will. You want a couple of things on Penn. It's a best of breed, and I also like it technically. And I've been I'm sorry to dodge into on tangents, but Lewis, don't you remember that Penn is a favorite of a lot of them? Bank of America, it's a favorite. I like it. It's a fun stock. Listen, it's going to go with the S&P as well because a lot of funds own it. So it's not going to go, on its own. It's also leveraged the S&P. A lot of funds own it. I said that many times, and I think that's maybe why I'd be asking about Penn. But I'm glad you're asking about Penn instead of DraftKings or Melco Crown or another second tier casino or play, if you will, because it tells me that you're asking at least about the best of breed. And you know what? I'll finish the dissertation on the chart. And why I think that way. You know what? It's nice. It went from 37 to 43. The RSI isn't oversold. You know what? How it gets here. I wouldn't be saying let's go back to 150. I hope your client's getting some money back on Zoom, like Zoom. It's not going back there. But you know what? Win showed some signs of life. I don't know what happened there. I sold that in the fund, and thank God I did. I thought that was acting best, but LVS now is the best to breed. Look at this chart. That's the best now. And once that starts holding and picks up the 200 day, that's when to be in. But Penn, yeah, I like it. I do. As you know, oh, by the way, all my charts, all my moving averages, just to let you guys know, they go in red, white, and blue. For the American flag, I apologize being biased, but red is the 10-day, red, white is the 20-day, blue is the 50-day, and green is the money, the 200-day. So red, white, and blue. So that's the 10, the 20, the 50. So I want to see Penn sit over 48, which, by the way, it's headed in the right direction. It's got to rest a little bit because it's got some resistance, but I like it. Let's go to the weekly. Hopefully it holds. Okay, now the weekly, the 200-day on the weekly is right here, probably at the 45, 46-ish. So it's do or die to a degree, but it's headed in the right direction, and I like it. I like Penn. Am I getting the gong? What time is it? 11:25? Let me finish up. Because what's going on macro is more important than what's going on today. SPY Gamma, so they got juice in the punch bowl left. Hedge fund equity exposure still on Friday. Hedge funds, they don't, I can be considered one to a degree. Yes, I'm not a complete believer. I need edification, and they still don't believe. And hence why they're still in all cash. Like I said in the beginning, whenever time but by the way, this is bullish. There's a lot of cash out there. As you can see, every time hedge funds are low, they go. But when they're all in, the market pulled back. Nobody knows what to do really. But there is a lot of good movement, and that's why we're here on a short-term level. Wild Pete, thank you. Gold sentiment, stock bond ratio, bullish. Coach, you're welcome. That's for the pros. I really don't probably watch your thing later. A couple of price targets. We always give you an economic indicator. We want to know why things are moving, not just what's moving. And Lewis, there was my levels today. So the big level was the high target was 44.57. 44.57 on ES. Futures. 44 with today. They're pulling back. 44.37. So they broke it. 44.37. This is right around here. Okay. So let me go back to our levels, which is most important, because you know what? Coach will even tell you that's what they're trading off of. Because someone wants something to believe in, and nothing's more, in my opinion, right now, believable than the futures levels. And all 43.90 is key. 43.90. It's been key for many days now. Let's go for a week in the minis. Where's 43.90? This is 43.90. And it has been key. Gap. This is it. 43.90. And I'm sorry if this is confusing. Actually, I'm not. You should be watching. And the other one is 4280, the big one, which we hope we do not 4280 right here, right? Isn't that number, Lewis? 4280 all week, coach? That's the big downside one. So you know what? Right now, we're in the box. We're in that box. Let me go to a monthly. We're in a box of futures. We wanted to hold here naturally for the long term, but let me go to a month. You know, we're in this box in the S&P right now, this area. It's that simple. We're in that channel. And until earnings come out, until the VIX settles down, which it has, and until the S&P shows us that it can hold this 200-day, which you know is the granddaddy of them all, we're tactical. And we're not going to do anything fancy. Let's go back. So those are the levels, Lewis. The 200-day right here is the bottom line, the magnet, that 43.90. So let's watch the best of breeds. Short sellers very active in Hong Kong. I don't know why that is. They're acting good. There's our pre-market movers. See, I bet you natural gas has been bearish. See, I bet you UNG, I didn't look. I bet you UNG has pulled back on the day. And look at this. See, this is bearish. And I should have shorted UNG because UNG has been doing the opposite of the market. And look at Boyle for those sexy guys. Opened at 46, Boyle right down to 42. Because that's contra. Natural gas has been contra the market, but it's holding. The trade's over because it's holding the 200-day. But it was a trade. Anyway, let's keep going. Coach tells me after a half an hour, people start signing off, and I get it. Now on Hood, does Kathy get liquidated and the climax selling done? She didn't get liquidated. That was the climax selling, the earnings. I'm not touching it, by the way. And Lewis, I would touch pen. So you know what? Let's go. Let's at 11:30. Let's look to see what the wise guys are doing and leave us back with something because that's most important. And let's with okay. GROWG, the marijuana Hood bullish. You know what this tells me right here? Kathy's biggest holdings. Hood, PACB. PACB, that's a Kathy holding. Fact. And Hood's still going. So everybody's still hopping on Hark. I thought about PACB, but I'd be down in it. I'd be long from like 1050, and now it's 1080, but it went to 9. I know what they're doing. Hood, they're taking up a 12% move. Wow, look at that. And what's the other one? GRWG, the proverbial best of breed marijuana play. I saw that this morning. And then I looked at CGC. And then a coach came into my mind at the SNDL. Thank God we didn't do that one. But SNDL, not bad. 10% off the lower trading at a hefty 48 cents. But let me go back to the wise guys. I don't mean to be facetious. Okay. So they're still playing AFRM. That followed through. Nobody wanted it. And that was the payment processor. That followed through nice. And it's still going higher. It tells me the market's going higher. Without even looking right here. I can tell you where the market is right here. DNA. That was my 510. I sold it. Oh my God, DNA. That was our favorite position. Look at DNA, the Kathy stock. That's when I look at it. I tried it here. I got frustrated. Now they're really taking. I was doing a TGH video last week. If Rich is on it, and it was going, and I wanted to sell it there, and I didn't, and it went down. But that another one, Kathy. So you know what? Are you on my charts? I hope you are. So let's look at Kathy. Let's look at our BLI. Hopefully it's over 10. 940. We need over 10. SDGR. Nice. Let's look at Path. Kathy loves Path. But I liked it before Path. Path is going, I hope. All right, good. And Nutella. Nutella was up 7. I hope it's up at least 5. Come on. You know what? This got to rest. That's what came into here. But you know what? I like the volume. I like the move. Nutella, in my opinion, at least going to the gap at 120. We're okay. All right. So let's go back here. Let's look at Tesla. Well, I'm on the chart. Look at the big daddies without looking at the market. I was short some S still. S is killing me. Not killing me. I'm being facetious. I could have covered on the dip here at 43.60. Now it's back up. Let's look. I didn't think plug was going this high today. I had plug overnight. I sold some of it at 2011. Now I'm short some of it, but for trade only. For a stock move 17 to 21, but I'm going to cover it right when I get off the air. What else? Oils. They're taking the market up. Oils. That's proper. Boeing acting. So you know what? Let me get back to it. The right stocks, at least actively, are acting correct. While Pete had a nice pick on T the other day, that went up nicely. But AT&T was resting. Coke should be resting. Procter and Gamble should be resting. Let's look at Overstock. We need that one to go up. No, we don't need it. We want it to. We don't need any of it. Overstock, giddy up. Nice move off the bottom. 30, 10 move off the bottom for the family. Look at that one now. You like that, Lewis? Look at that. 39 to 49. Looks like that. It was buried in it. All right. BL, you know what? Another one? BLZ. Somebody's told me about BLZ, sharp dude. What's BLZ doing? I don't have to look, but this guy's sharp. No. Let me go back here. All right. Every stock I hold is currently positive. Good for you. I should have shorted ARC. Now shorting. So now that short, yes, should head down to 43. So ARC's in play. Last day of the month. Last day of the month, I told you the CTAs wanted to put cash on hand. They needed to put cash on more. You get penalized for having cash on hand if you're a fund manager. That's why I think we're following through. What does our boys say? Bear's going to need to take it below 200 day. 4457 is apparently the one on the yes, because then I have to let us go, everyone. 4457, Lewis, in the futures is the level. We're on it now. This is it. They bounced again. So 4457. Okay. And I'll leave everyone with this. I don't mean to repeat myself, but I'll end it here. And this is where the money is, regardless of my opinion, the top list. This is it. This is the menu. What's on the menu today? Large range. Percent movers are range. Hood. 200% range with 100% volume. I don't care what your opinion is on it. You have to trade it. Plug power. Ugh, I had that overnight. Lift. ANPH, NIO, Fastly, Overstock, giddy up. Ionis, what's at the high? You know what? Let's go with volume. That's most important. Spotify, Hood is there, moves over. It's up. Hood is, by the way, is a good identifier if the market is still squeezing the shorts or everything is holding up across the board. It's a good litmus test. Boyle, we mentioned that before. AFRM, I also mentioned that before. Fizzler, another. So they take Roblox. Look at Roblox. I told Mike Lombardo, look at Roblox. And neither one of us would buy it because the stock went from 53 to 65, a $12 move. And you know why it's making a move like that? Because nobody thought it would. That's why it is. Serious. So this is our page here. And just let me tell you something. See all the data that I'm putting up here? This data is this data. This is why we created, so I don't have to use all that other data or use my queries. I'll show you the top percent gainers or losers. They'll be right here. Top US gainers. Percent gain. We had it. Hold on. Mavis was up there. SGLI was up there. API was up there. Let's look at the top NASDAQ stocks. Percent change. API was up. API is up here. CD, PPSI, DLO, TGTX, DLO. Hold on. Our movers, percentage. TKLF, Mavis. So what I'm saying is, eventually, and I'll take away from trading because it is what it is. You're in your positions now. We're trying to make this a one-stop shop, or we're making it a one-stop shop where I don't have to click on. You know what I could go? I could already look at, wow, let's look at API, one of the China stocks. Go to my chart. That's what API is doing. I'll remember that API is having a month. MTTR. I was the only one in the country here buying it at 822 on Friday. I had 20,000 shares. MTTR. We go right here, 890. Look at that thing. Now 950. So the work's all here for you. Top news. Top news is this. Look at our top news on stocks. 7 stocks 3 minutes ago. You know what this top news is? This is my Twitter feed. That's what the top news is. It's an amalgamation of all my Twitter feeds or Twitter people that I think is relative information, not to be too much right here. And our trading room naturally is the things that I also post them out again, top movers. But right here, we want to make TGH a one-stop shop. So as we sign off at 11:40, I went a little bit too overboard. We're giving you the movers. And let me sign off by what we're doing right now. I say sign off all the time. Just you know what? If I go overboard, make it a tutorial. I can't apologize. I'm giving good data right now. Bed Bath and Beyond bullish. They're still bullish on DNA. VIX deep in the money put. So they're buying puts way out in the VIX. So the volatility might go over, although fear and greed bounced a little. So if they're buying VIX puts deep in the money, that's short term in the money means short term, bearish. That's the VIX. I'm not saying to chase it here. I'm just saying that might be overall sentiment. Here's the VIX. So the VIX is settled down. Where's the hood? The hood's up 12% now. Look at this. Plug, Delta, S, overstock up 4. Oh, you know what? Let me show you my universe. Here's my universe. I'll leave you off today. This is what I'm looking at. Path. I didn't think it'd be up 230. Tesla, Riven. Look at Riven. You know why Riven's up 5 today? It's because no one thought it could go up 5. 49 to 62. My Lord. Baba back in action. SE. I have to look my wife in the eye and tell her that I wasn't long SE. But you know what? Look at the volume on SE here. But that didn't work. Who knew it wouldn't work right here? It worked for $12, but you know what? If you were early here, you're buried in the thing. So people are getting back to even. I'm glad, even if you will. I'm glad that these things bounce so people can reallocate, get back into trading and stop hoping and wanting short squeezing and start getting more tactical. Me included. So here's the screen right here. I always go by best. This is how I arrange it. Whatever stocks are acting best in the respective group, LC. What is Delta doing? That's right. That should be right. It's only plug that's hurting me. Delta. I'll show you why I shorted Delta. Bottom left. That's not acting very well. You're telling me the Delta's up 1.5%. Pardon me. Let me go to my chart. This is the Delta chart. Am I really scared of Delta right here below all moving averages, failing to put a 2-day rally right at the gap? I want to short. I want to hedge myself. Let's look at the best of breeds. Let's look at LUV. That's not doing any. Hold on. Am I on the charts here? Let me go. Hold on. Charts. Yeah. Hold on. Delta. I'm not really afraid of Delta, although when a stock makes a move from 40.78 to 43, it's a hedge for me. Where do I start shorting Delta? It's a good hedge, though. I'm not just throwing a dart. Chart parameters. Oh, that's LUV, Delta. All right, so I shorted Delta a little bit. 38.80. It went to 39.12, and the futures are ripping. So I think I'm okay for a little bit. And I like to trade. What else are we looking to fade? Futures 44.53. The Indu's negative. Composite. AMD's up nicely. MU. LC. Somebody asked me about LC. Is it dead? Lending Club. What a move. 15 to 18. And still no interest. Gold. I don't have to go over gold because I know a professional in the room already told you about it. XBI. You had to hold XBI. I've been saying it's the lowest move in XBI in a decade. You had it, you could have done it there, but this is the time. We have to. Usually the first day up is not the first. The first move is not this. It was a back and fill. Now this is XBI. I would be looking to buy this on a little bit of a dip. You know what I mean? You want to put some away? Fine. This is where I'd start putting some away here. For me, it's a little bit of confirmation. If it goes to 105, I'd probably take some off. But that's where I'm leaving everybody at. This is my main page. I also have this page that I moved to, US Movers. Also, ARVL. What's ARVL doing? All right. This is what I do when I go to Movers. ARVL. Daily. Nice move. Not interested. Best, YSG, RMO, a battery, API, China. I'm on top left. Data, China. Mavis, a short squeeze. DNA, you know the picture there. That's going to bother me. I don't have any left, but I might buy some. Listen, DNA, I like now. I like the business. I just had to sell some of it. It popped, but I'm probably going to buy it back at 525 is where I want DNA to put some away, if you will. NIO, MTTR, and that bottom on MTTR did it on Friday. That was the bottom. That was capitulation. Everybody on Friday said, I can't take it anymore on MTTR. It went from 762 to 9. I was early in it because I had overnight from 867. So it went from 762 to 867, a 10% move. I took some off. I'm not married to this thing. I don't want it in the portfolio. I wasn't in to trade it for it. I wanted to trade. So anyway, I'm going over a little overboard. Here's the portfolio. What am I? S, what's the S doing? Plug, I gotta get out of. How's Run doing? Run, ENPH, Fizzler. Look at the mood in Fizzler. 2 days up. Boom, just like that, 69 to 70. All right, I'll leave it there, guys. All right, so tune into TGH. Any more questions? Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Tim. I'll leave it at that. I'll be back after lunch. I'll be actively posting. Please leave all questions. Like I told you before, I even got back to the gentleman's question who asked why the NASDAQ was bearish. That was a day and a half ago. My obligation isn't to hear myself talk. My obligation is to give you guys a plan and get better. So eventually you can get off these tutorials and keep trading through TradeView, and you won't need me and the training wheel comes off. That would be my greatest gift, if you will. So I'll be back after lunch. It's only a Monday. Don't let all your trades determine on a half a day being Monday. It's a long week. We have earnings coming up. Have a plan. There's plenty more to do. That's what our job is. Trade well. We'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in and cheers.